Welcome to Rough Realities and Revelation.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. It's us again.
It's us again, yes, it's us again. I'm quite excited. I'm not even going to ask you properly how you are because I don't care because I'm excited. I think I'm more excited than you are about your own little journey that you're about to go
What
on.
are you excited about?
I am excited that you are now at the stage where you are putting out more feelers, shall we say, about welcoming a dog.
Yeah. I mean, I'm dipping a toe into the
I don't care.
world of looking for another dog.
I've taken that as you have dived in. That's how excited I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to now live vicariously through you.
Yeah, you got 10 lined up to move into my house tomorrow. Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, I do admire your boundaries because I personally would have you've sadly, been a bit dogless for a bit. It's mega sad, but we're not going to be sad. And I would not have had the self-restraint that you have had.
Yeah.
And now, so I'm just going to live vicariously through you about choosing a dog.
Yeah, well, there's some big shoes to fill, big baskets to fill.
There certainly are. There certainly are.
Yeah.
So, and I think I like the way that you put thought into everything and stuff like that as well, because I think choosing a dog is one of probably the biggest decisions that you're going to make, because if you get it right, it's super enjoyable. And it's lovely, because there will be dogs that slot into your life. I know we've both had that type of dog where we've brought them, we've welcomed them in, they've slotted in as if they've always been there.
Yeah.
And things have been quite hunky-dory, and we've enjoyed the journey, shall we say, and we've had good memories from start to finish, and it's been wonderful. But we've also both had dogs where it's been quite a lot of curveballs in there, and it's been a bit rocky, and the memories are mixed of the first few weeks, months, sometimes years, have not been looked back fondly. Yeah. And then the rest of it has been lovely, but there's been that rockiness.
Definitely. And I think that's what's given me anxiety a bit, is whether, my expectations will be fulfilled basically with another dog. Yeah,
that's true. Because I think we're both quite seasoned at this. We've personally had several dogs over the years. We've both had multi-dog households and stuff like that. Our preference, in all fairness, is rescue, and that's not a bad thing. That is no slight to anyone that's listening that's like, oh, what's wrong with the puppy and everything like that. There's nothing wrong with getting a puppy from a breeder. I
just don't have that level of energy.
You don't know that. This is where we sort of then slightly differ in our choices. Yeah. You prefer the more mature, settled type dog. Yeah. That has finished all their developmental stages and is a bit more relaxed and isn't full of the joys of spring as much. Whereas I much prefer a slightly younger dog, typically is just entering the adolescent phase of development, which is just a minefield. And I prefer, a much more active dog that I'm going to do things with and stuff like that. Whereas you prefer more relaxed type.
Yeah. Well, I think my sister summed it up perfectly. I recently sent her a picture of a puppy that had come into work. It was a golden retriever puppy. It was so handsome. So handsome. And the caption I put was, "New hot guy at work."
Right.
And she texted me back and said, "He looks a bit young for you. Has he not got an old crippled one-eyed uncle?"
That is very accurate for you. But I think this is where, when you are thinking about getting a dog, you do have to be honest with yourself about what are your expectations. Yeah. What are your I was going to say capabilities, but I think I mean what's your lifestyle like? Like, genuinely, what is your lifestyle like?
Yeah. But I think capabilities is interesting to throw in the mix as well. Like,
It's true, actually. Yeah. What are you capable of putting in time and effort into the dog?
Effort, physically, financially,
mentally. Because you do invest a lot, and I think you coined the phrase quite nicely. You could weekend warriors and stuff. And I personally see mismatches happen at class. People will come, they've chosen a high energy breed, say like a Vizsla or a Pointer or a Collie or whatever. Yeah. And I can kind of see this maybe wasn't a match made in heaven and stuff. And one of the things that comes up is things like appropriate exercise levels is the dog getting. But these families will tell me, oh, we're very active people. But actually what they're meaning is Monday to Friday when they're working, they can really only give the dog round the block walks, maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time, if that, once, sometimes twice a day if the dog's, privileged. But at weekends, if the weather's nice enough, they're going to go out 2 hours at a time and they go different places and all the rest of it. And that's fine if that is your lifestyle. I'm not knocking that lifestyle, but that lifestyle is not necessarily matched very well with those types of breeds of dogs. Yeah. Really what you're wanting, like I personally find my Border Terrier would suit that lifestyle because he's a bit of give and take. He's like, if we're up for loads of exercise, he's going to be on it and he'll be out with me all day and we can do loads of things. But if we have a quiet day where I'm like, oh mate, I just want to sit and watch the TV, we okay, go round the block. He's like, totally got you. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's pick something off the Netflix.
Basically. Yeah. But if I try to do that with Finn, or funnily enough, George likes to go out all the time. Yeah. And you can see them getting really twitchy because they're not like getting enough exercise and stuff like that. So I think, so being genuinely honest about your lifestyle and stuff. So what is your little checklist? Just so I know what I'm looking for as well, but I'm looking at things for you.
So firstly, I would like a dog that's small to medium size.
Okay.
Just because, I'm thinking, and I say it all the time, blah, blah, blah. 80% of dogs over the age of 8 suffer from arthritis. And so, and I suffer from arthritis myself. And so I have to think about what I could physically manage if I was having to help support a dog that had mobility issues in the future.
Yep.
And for me, that would be a small to medium-sized dog. It would be a large dog.
Right. What's medium?
So Cousin Leo was, at his fattest, he was 18 kg. And I feel like that was probably the limit of what I could manage, hoofing up and down the stairs and stuff like that. I think probably like Alma size. She was like 10 kg. I think that's probably as big as I would go.
Because to be honest,
I want a dog I could tuck under my arm. Yeah.
I was going to say, because even like a 10 kilo dog, when they have limited mobility, honestly, they're like a sack of ties. It is actually heavier than you think to lug them around, to help them get places. I don't mean, so when you're talking about you want a portable dog, you are not talking about, well, I'm just going to pick the dog up every 2 seconds and just carry it. No. We're talking about when
they're old and they need support to get, in and out the house and up to bed and stuff like that.
So, which in your choice of dog might be sooner rather than later. You wouldn't have had that dog very long doing that sort of thing. So so we've got size. Okay.
So I would like a middle-aged to older dog, an adult dog.
So 3 to 5 years old?
Yeah, 3 to 7 maybe.
Yeah. Because Babbitt 7 is a senior dog.
It is, but it's, it's the early days of
seniority.
Senior. And I think as well, you have to take like breed size into consideration as well. Because your smaller breeds are living longer than your larger breeds.
Yeah, so a 7-year-old Chihuahua is a little bit
like halfway through their life. But a 7-year-old Chihuahua, Maui Dodger, she lived to 17. So
that's true. So what did we just say just now? 3 to 7?
Aye, 3 to 7.
3 to 7.
All 3 to 7.
Okay.
House trained or mostly house trained.
Okay.
I think.
So some people might be sitting thinking, Christ, it's 3 years old, I hope you're frigging house trained. But actually, genuinely, especially, well, no, I was going to say if you're getting them through rescue, but usually a dog between those ages, somebody's had them at some point, right? They've not just like appeared.
Yeah.
That the house training element doesn't actually always apply.
No.
Does it? Because it depends where they've come from. So maybe a dog that's been in kennels.
Yeah.
If this dog has come maybe from a breeder and is no longer of use to that person.
Yeah, if they've come from abroad and have been a street dog, they might not be used to being in a house, or they might have lived outside of the house. You know, a lot of these dogs that come from abroad have maybe been, you know, chained up outside and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they've not had to even know that was a thing.
Yeah. Or like Dodger, Patch and Lily, they'd never been outside for the first half of their life. They lived with a hoarder. And so their kind of substrate preference was set, you know, well set, that I'd do my business indoors.
Yeah.
Not outdoors. I've never been outdoors. I'm not going to do the toilet outdoors.
No, definitely not. So safe. But also, I think even aside, with their experiences of life, of just knowing inside, they were Chihuahuas.
Yeah, 100% they were.
So Chihuahuas are very particular about the weather. So this is where you always have to look at breed, because certain breeds, especially when you live in Scotland, our weather is not always conducive to wanting to go outside.
I mean, even when it was, Dodger would look out the back door and be like, grass looks a wee bit dewy. Just going to pee on the rug.
Yeah.
Just put a puppy pad down.
It'll be fine. So, okay, so we've got small, middle-aged.
Yeah.
Peas outside.
Mostly peas outside.
I know what I was thinking.
Mostly peas outside.
What else?
I think that's probably everything. Like on my, I mean, I'd quite like it to be okay with people and with other dogs, because I would like
that can't be your list.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. I'd like it to come to work with me.
Okay. So,
if it wanted to.
So being comfortable around new people and dogs for you is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can tell you what I do not want though.
That's good, because actually sometimes I think the do not want list is more important.
I would 100% be sending a dog back if it was a whiner.
Wiener? Is that called?
A whine, a wiener. You know, Alma, from the second she got up in the morning to when she went to bed at night, she barked. She constantly barked. She barked because she wanted to go outside. She barked because she was hungry. She barked because she was bored. She barked because, you know, just why not? You try to watch the telly, I'll just bark.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me. My neighbour's slightly deaf. It wasn't an issue. See dogs that whine and I hear them at work. Or like I'll be grooming a dog and it just whines. Like, you know, if I pop it on the floor or anything, it's just like it's whining.
That's your nails down a blackboard noise, isn't it?
I don't cope with it. Howling, fine, barking, fine.
But wiener.
No.
And I understand that, and it's okay to say that, because
it makes me nervous that like I choose a dog and it's, you know, and it's like great, and then I get it home and it starts whining like Becky.
I know, you'll be like, oh no, what's gonna do? I know it's.
I hope you've got a plan in place for when.
I'm gonna try and figure out a plan just in case, because I bet it'll be a dog that I introduced you to, and it'll be my fault that it's a wiener.
Yeah, I mean, it's your problem regardless.
Yeah, well,
you're dealing with it.
But I think that's okay to have a deal breaker moment.
Yeah.
And some folk might be listening and going, dog that whines. But do you know what? If that is the thing that will drive you insane,
it would drive me insane.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a deal breaker for me would be, I do have a multi-dog household, and I don't ever foresee myself living with a single dog. So a deal breaker moment for me would be, I mean, a dog could tick all the boxes, but if then I was told, oh, by the way, they can't live with another dog.
Could be an only pet.
Yeah, then I'd be like, I'm not even going to look any further. I'm not going to get an introduction. I'm not, because it's not already on the first hurdle with a mismatch. It wouldn't be fair on that dog. It's definitely not fair on my own dogs.
Yeah.
That would be a deal breaker. The other one, behaviour-wise, so the only behaviour for me, so like you're saying, I can have a barker, a howler, here in the house are, that's not a deal breaker. I mean, it's a desire to have a pee outside, but you can work on it. Wouldn't be, this is not going to happen. But mine's would be the dog is a resource guarder towards people.
Right.
So I'm okay with resource guarding within my own dogs because, they'll guard against one another. We can manage that and it's fine. But if I was speaking to the people that are looking after this dog and I felt this dog was for me, but then they said, oh, by the way, this dog's got a bite history, it guards things, this is the reason it was rehomed, I'm out. Yeah. I work with too many people that live with that, and it's not something I want to knowingly invite in. I'm not saying actually if I took on a dog and this was a surprise behaviour that because maybe I get the dogs from a kennel environment, I didn't know, none of the staff knew it was a guarder, and it was a bit of a surprise. I'm not saying I wouldn't work through it, but if I had the choice, I would be like, no, thank you. I'll deal with anything else. I can deal with, reactivity, being scared, what, even separation anxiety, I'd happily tackle. But for me, the deal breaker is resource guard against people I don't, thank you. So it's not my bag. And I think that's important to acknowledge. What are your deal breakers? What are the things that you go, no, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want that.
So you hear people say, oh, I'll get a puppy because it's a blank slate. It's not coming with all this baggage, with all these behaviour issues already in place. Is it just easier just to get a puppy? I mean, not me. I'm never getting a puppy. I've never had a puppy. I'm never getting a puppy. I enjoy puppies.
Yeah, because you can hand them back.
Yeah, we have puppy Fridays at work, and I love puppy Fridays. And I love puppies coming in for their grooming. I don't want a puppy.
No, and I think that's fine.
But I can see why people would say, oh, well, it's not coming with all these issues.
Yeah, we're talking about rescue dogs because predominantly that's how that we prefer to get a dog through rescue. But sometimes that's not doable because, excuse me, maybe you have an environment that a lot of rescue places would say, like, you shouldn't have a dog from them. Maybe it is because you have children.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just want a puppy though. Maybe you just want
a puppy. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think when this myth about a puppy being a blank slate needs to die, like it needs to, no more myths about this. There is so much involved in a puppy's personality and behaviour that goes right back to genetics. Yeah. So, depending on what the parent, and this is where you need to do your research on things. You need to know what this dog's parents are like, not just how they're like now that they're an adult and they're settled and they're relaxed. What were they like as younger dogs? Yeah. Were they a bit mental? Were they a bit bitey? Were they a bit barky? And, come maturity, you've kind of got different dogs. I was about to say when I was younger, I was a bit more mental. I've mellowed a bit. But if you meet me now, and if you'd gone back in the time machine and met me when I was like 15, 16, it is kind of two different people and stuff like that. So yeah, the same happens with dogs. But then there's the huge, and this is where it's so important to find, I hate the term gold star breeder because this should not be gold star. This should be how anybody who decides to breed dogs should bring puppies up. Yeah. But have they done appropriate socialising? Have they done things like, feed puppies individually so that we're not bringing in garden behaviours? Have they, allowed these puppies to spend time on their own to build resilience and, things like that? Have they, taken them outside? This list's for another podcast, if I'm honest with you, but how much exposure has that puppy had in those extremely formative weeks before you've even got them? Exactly. Because that is going to completely form how this puppy is going to slot in.
So it's not a blank slate.
It's not a blank slate in the slightest.
And I think as well, there's such an influx now of puppies that have not come from a good place.
No.
So like your backyard breeders, your puppy farms as well. And surely a stressed and anxious mum is going to have stressed and anxious puppies.
Very much so.
You know, a mum that's always lived in a cage, in a crate, in a small shelter, that's not been exposed to anything herself and just lives constantly stressed.
Yeah.
That's not
bringing happy, relaxed puppies into the world.
Exactly.
And I think what's difficult there, the smoke and mirrors around those types of breeders. So there are red flags you can look for, but sometimes even knowing everything, you can get caught out because people are so clever nowadays.
Definitely.
But again, this is going back to the whole research, and get yourselves aware of what you're looking for.
Definitely.
And
I think we could do a whole other podcast on
well, absolutely, yeah, because Googling things, everybody Googles stuff. This is what we do now. I don't know what I did before Google. I can't remember. I think I just wondered about wonderment.
Yeah, you just didn't know stuff.
No, you didn't. You'd ask some people, and if they didn't know, well,
yeah, I mean, you know, you quite often say, "Oh, I wonder, like such and such." Like, Becky, you don't need to wonder. You can just look on your phone. You don't need to wonder.
Just type it in. And this is the thing that, in a way, blows my mind. In today's society, when we have information at our fingertips, why do people not actually search these things properly, thoroughly, properly? Yeah. Why are certain bits of information a surprise to them when they could have just looked it up and it was there? It was there. And I think two things happen there. One is you do have a group of people who very much go in prepared, and they're forward thinking, and they're thinking, you know, like you're doing, like, I need a smaller dog this time round, you know, I want this, this and this. And they'll look up what suits them, what would be a good breed for them, what would be a good fit with their lifestyle and everything. And there is smoke and mirrors out there about the information that you see. You can go on various websites. They might not be incredibly accurate. They might not give you as truthful information as somebody who's maybe dealt with that breed before and things. And there's certain weird information out there that doesn't ever like disappear without, like, the whole, I'm probably going to open a can of worms, but the whole doodle world. Yeah. So whether you have cockapoos, cavapoos, labradoodles, whatever, the common thing out there when you're Googling them, they're easygoing dogs. Yeah. They're sociable. They don't need much exercise, minimal coat care. Yeah. I don't know what they're describing, but it's none of those breeds. No. I mean, I have this customer, and she's probably listening, and I am talking about you. I am. This is about you, but we still love you. We still love you. We still love your dog. But every time I see her, it's like, oh, I can't believe, like, how often I have to brush this dog. Like, nobody told me how often I'd have to brush this dog. I can't believe how much the groom costs. Nobody told me how much the groom was going to cost. I can't believe how often I have to bring her. Nobody told me how often I'd have to bring her. The dog? 5. I just still can't get over it. Oh no. But this is so weirdly, topics like that, it genuinely actually, these people don't know that because all the information out there is, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah. But then you'll have another group of people who would spend a week or more Googling which phone to upgrade to make sure it has all the specifications that suit their needs. Yeah. But what they've done, where a dog's concerned, they've been out for a walk, they've bumped into some random breed, like, I don't know, like Swedish Valhound. Yeah. Oh, I'd love one of them. I'd love one of them. And they met the dog. Crofts, I really love them. They are beautiful dogs. They are beautiful dogs. But they met them for like 2 minutes. Yeah, yeah. The dog's quite well behaved. Yeah. They're enamoured with the beauty of the dog, and they think, this is the dog for me. They go home and they don't research things. They just look for a breeder. Yeah. And then they just jump right in, and you're like, how did that even happen? I mean, I've got this other customer. I am talking about you. You know, so I groomed the neighbour's dog. Mm-hmm. And they really love the neighbour's dog. Like, really love the neighbour's dog. So we're going to get one as well. Nothing like... Oh, no.
They're like chalk and cheese. They don't even get on. Like, the two dogs don't even get on.
Oh no.
Like, but it's just like, oh, we love this dog so much that we're going to get one ourselves. And yeah, I mean, they're both good in their own way, but they're not, the expectations were not the reality.
But do you know what? This is becoming such a common theme nowadays, I feel, for people. And I think there's two reasons for this. One is the expectations we have of what our dogs are capable of and what they should tolerate and how they should behave are quite skewed from what they were a few years ago. And I also think that our sense of or acknowledgement of our responsibilities of having a dog and actually teaching them how to behave, that's skewed as well. And the fact that those two things are skewed, I don't think leaves us in a good place just now.
Definitely. I mean, there was all that hoo-ha online recently with that celebrity, the celebrity that handed their dog back to the shelter. Did you hear about that?
No, I don't think so.
Right, it was Lily Allen and her husband. What's her husband? He was in Stranger Things.
I can't remember his name, but
he plays the guy that dates Winona Ryder in Stranger Things. Yeah, the cop.
I want to say his name's David, but I could be wrong.
It could be. I don't know. Anyway, they got a puppy in the lockdown. I think
as a lot of us did.
Yeah. I think it was a cockapoo puppy again.
Oh, right, okay.
But
loads of misinformation going on there.
She had just said in passing on her own podcast that the puppy, they handed the puppy back because it chewed her passport.
And so, a puppy that chewed something.
So I think the internet just went into complete meltdown, and she had to come out and say, well, actually, that was kind of the final straw, and a whole bunch of things that had happened because, funnily enough, the puppy didn't train itself. And it was it was causing like a lot of issues. But I think actually, for them to say, you know what, this dog is not a good fit for us and there's no way we can make this work. So, and it, they handed it back, it went to another home, it lived happily ever after. I think that's actually quite like a brave thing to do. It's not like, it's not giving up.
No. I think you need to know when you've reached limits and when it isn't a good fit. Because why should the two of you be in misery? Or might not just be you and the dog, and your whole family and the dog. We're allowed to divorce people that we don't want to live with anymore and we don't want to be married to. So why can't we?
Don't get me wrong. Some of the reasons people give up their dogs are stupid reasons.
But again, I think this goes back to the skewed view of somebody's responsibility to actually put time and effort into the dog.
Yeah.
And I think
because they don't train themselves.
They don't. I mean, one, I wouldn't have a job if they did train themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
I would be jobless. You just watch out for them being able to cut their own hair and you'll be doomed. But I think there is an element of we'll just wait for the dog to grow up. And I just find that a bizarre one because I don't know why you think it would work like that. And then I think because we're asking the dog to then fit into boxes that they're not meant to be in, taking them everywhere with us, putting them in lots of social situations, we seem very entitled these days to think we can touch every single dog. But then you add on top of that, a lot of dogs over the last few years have been badly bred, going back to the whole puppy isn't a blank canvas. I mean, we've got dogs here who have not got fantastic temperaments and are not really comfortable doing the things that all of a sudden we've said.
I mean, that just blows my mind that people with children especially, are not doing the work ahead of getting the dog and are just getting a dog that they found on the internet. It
slightly frightens me, this.
A live animal that's come from this horrific situation, this puppy farm where, the mother never saw daylight, the puppies were never outside, and then putting it in your house with your child.
And they think just because it's a puppy it'll be fine, but no.
It just blows my mind that people do that.
Or even, I do see a lot of people will, I think the underlying reason is they're trying to give the dog a home and they'd heard from a workmate's auntie's cousin that their neighbour needed rid of this 6-month-old dog and it's never been around children, but because these people thought, well, I was kind of thinking about a dog and I could give this dog a home, so I'll just take it, not thinking, actually, this dog's never been around children. You don't know anything about the dog, and you are going to put your children at risk by introducing this dog with no support, no backup, no introductions.
Mad.
It is mad, because it's not always a horrible story, but Kim, what? Sadly, a lot of times it's a horrible story.
Why would you risk it?
I don't understand. I mean, I don't have children, but I wouldn't do something like that. I wouldn't do something like that. But I just think there needs to be a little bit more responsibility taken by us humans, that we actually have a job to do when we take a dog on. But I also think that means part of the responsibility is to do the correct research. And to actually, so not only ask Google, but another good place to go, because, you know, you've got the smoke and mirrors from Google, but on social media, if you join like breed groups, surprisingly are quite good for this kind of stuff, because if you snoop around, you don't have to be interactive, you can lurk. You can look around at different posts. You're going to see what a lot of issues are within that breed. So like having collie groups. So there's always questions about car chasing. There's always questions about being reactive towards other dogs, being a bit barky and a bit lungy and stuff like that. And there's always questions about them biting family members.
Right.
Always that. And if you know a collie, you know why they do those things.
And, you know, if you looked online, though, it would say that collies were, you know, friendly and loyal and easy to train.
I wish it was true. No, collie people listening are like, mine's as friendly, loyal, and easy to train. Well, good for you. I wish I had one of them. Like, well, he's loyal. That's what he is. But it is, in the right environment, they will be like that. But when we put them in an urban environment with none of their breed needs met and they get their weekend warrior owners, it is a recipe for disaster. You're going to start to see the uglier side of the breed. And if you're in any doodle groups or namely cockapoo groups, you're probably going to see lots of things about these dogs guarding and biting and things. So that'll start to open your eyes about the negative side, because no dog is perfect. No, you know what I mean? No dog is perfect. And no breed is perfect, should I say. You're looking like...
I was just thinking Dodger is beyond the grave clutching her pearls.
I was like,
I was perfect. She was perfect.
And I actually can see her doing that. I'm so sorry, Dodger. But you'll also be able to ask on there. I've seen this in the past as well. People ask about good breeders. So if you do want to go down the route of a puppy and everything, you'll actually get honest feedback. You're going to get people who recommend breeders. So you might see the same name cropping up quite a lot, which is a good indication. But you're also going to get people telling you negative stories and where they've had a hard time, and maybe the dogs weren't that healthy, or, you know, maybe their temperaments weren't fantastic, and you don't find that on Google. So just doing these types of searches already puts you in a better place to be making a good decision and getting the dog. But I think that we then have to be more realistic about what the dog's capable of, and also forgetting that when you watch all these dogs on Instagram and on social media, that's just a snippet. I mean, these things are usually lies and fabrications. People are doing it to look good. I mean, how many of us have on our own feeds seen couples that we know of put up these pictures, going out for dinner, lovely house, but we know these people and we know that there's infidelity going on. We know that they argue loads. But if all you did was scroll their page, it looks fantastic.
Who are these people? You'll need to tell me later.
I will tell you later, yes. You know, but it's things like that. So I think that we need to move away from the whole... In fact, we asked our East Coast gang, we wrote a blog on things I wish I knew.
Yeah, things I wish I'd known before I got
And one of the things that somebody said was they wish they'd known Disney dogs weren't true.
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliant because it is true. I wish people were braver to put up the ugly side and to put up the struggles, and braver in the sense of saying, no, I'm not a match for this dog. I'm going to help try and find this dog a home. It doesn't mean you can never own a dog again. It's not like you get a ban.
Yeah.
Because you decided to rehome a dog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happened with Lily Allen. The internet was like, no, she should never get a dog again. I think that's why it had come up. She was looking at getting another dog. Like, no, ban this woman from ever having a dog ever again.
Oh, that's a bit harsh because I think that you don't know the ins and outs. Like, she made that throwaway comment.
I mean, so many people just stupidly got cockapoos in the lockdown. Like, that's the bottom line.
Cockapoos as well.
Yeah. You're all mad.
You're mad because then you have to pay groomers. Groomers. Go off then.
Can't believe how much the groomer costs.
You have to, because again, these are the things when you're going online, it doesn't tell you.
That's why I'll never get a cockapoo.
I know.
I know how much the grooming costs and how much they have to be brushed. Like, look, I love them. They're like little chicken nuggets.
Oh, they are, and they're lovely dogs.
They're like little Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a long-haired dog.
No.
Oh, I wouldn't have a dog.
So add that to my list. Short-haired dog.
Short-haired, Jessie. We're narrowing it even further. So I think if you're doing that, but then I also think that even if you have thought that they teach themselves and they train themselves and stuff, and things are starting to go right, the sooner you reach out to somebody professionally, the better.
Yeah.
Like, you usually need professional help to make raising a dog and training a dog easy.
Yeah.
Like, a trainer's job, in my eyes anyway, is to show you the easy way to do it and to build that bond and to have the dog that you want at the end of it and stuff like that. And I think the danger at the moment, because what I'm seeing, because of this mismatch between our expectations of a dog's capabilities and our lack of acceptance of our responsibility about training a dog, looking after a dog, it is leading a lot of people within the profession to have compassion fatigue. We're getting tired now because usually when you're in this profession, you do it because you care about dogs and you do care about people. It doesn't matter how many of them tell you, I got into this because I like dogs more than people. You want to help people. You want them to have that nice life.
Relationship, definitely.
So you don't, when you have somebody who themselves is hitting fatigue with the problems this dog is bringing, the upset in their lives, the stress, they dump all of that on you. Like, you get everything. Well, you get it as well. I mean, I'm saying it's just trainers. It's not groomers as well.
And, and vets really.
Oh, vets
get it as well. And I think it's worth saying as well that compassion fatigue, it doesn't mean that you don't have compassion for the pet anymore.
No.
Or for the owner anymore. Or, when healthcare professionals have compassion fatigue, it's not that they don't care about your elderly relative anymore.
No.
It's that they're thinking so much about that they stop having compassion for themselves.
Yep.
And that things in their own lives start to go awry and to be left to the side for later because they're focusing so much on, on all of these issues.
Yep. And
it's been, earlier this year was 10 years since Dr. Sophia Yin passed away. 10 years. So Dr. Yin was a pioneer in the use of positive reinforcement training, and she developed a technique called low stress handling.
Yep.
Which is a technique that veterinary professionals use to reduce stress in the veterinary environment. And she sadly committed suicide. And she had spoken to her colleagues in the lead up to her death about how she felt she wasn't doing enough. She couldn't do enough for people, for the animals that she was looking after. And at the same time, she couldn't do enough to manage the business side of her business, the business management side and her own personal life as well. And it just got too much for her.
I can absolutely see how it does, because I think, again, the way society's moved on, when you're a dog trainer, you're not just there to train dogs. You're there to create content and put stuff out on social media so people know what's going on and they can get free advice and stuff like that. But you're also there to run your business and to make sure that you can fill your classes, do these things, or help people and talk to people and advise them and stuff like that. But then also you've got to run your own household. You've got to look at, most of us have our own dogs and stuff, so we've got to look after our own dogs, and everything builds up. And I think when I speak to colleagues, even though, you know, most dog trainers are self-employed, but we do have a collective circle. It's the same with groomers and stuff like that. We all talk. We're all struggling with compassion fatigue right now because people are just dumping it on. But because they're so stressed out themselves, they don't put the work in. They're not, because again, this is where the shirking of responsibilities is coming in, and they're not aware. Like, oh, see, if I just addressed this when this was first happening, this would have been done and dusted in like a month or two. But now that I let the dog do this for like a year before I've reached out, it's going to probably take me another year to help this dog. And it's worthwhile saying for anyone that is in that position, and in fact for everybody that is getting fatigued through either having a difficult dog, because sometimes our dogs do not fit the mould. You do get those exceptions and stuff that don't follow. So you could have done all the research you liked, and that dog went, I didn't get the memo that I'm a Weimaraner. I'm going to behave like something completely different. And you're just like, well, I researched it, and why don't you behave this way? Because they're individuals. That's why. So if you're having a tough time, but equally if you're within the profession and you're just absorbing everybody's trauma, essentially, and stressing out, like I know I sit there thinking, I wonder if they've had a bite-free day today. I wonder if they've been safe today. I wonder if the dog's had a good day today. I wonder if they've taken the dog to the vet and the vet's on pain meds. The vet's on pain meds, the dog's on pain meds.
I mean, the vet's probably on pain meds as well.
Probably as well, all this whirls about. And that means then I'm not present for my own dogs. I'm not present for family and friends and stuff like that, because my brain's winning.
I know. I mean, every day you say to me, oh, how's your day going? And I quite often don't ask you, and it's not because I'm not interested. It's just because I just know that your days just went, and I just don't have the capacity to like take on all of that.
Your brain's also worried.
Because then, you know, I'm also thinking about your client, and did they have waking up at 3 a.m. Did Becky's client have a bite-free night? I don't even know this person. I don't know the dog. But there I am, like, worrying about, you know, what's going on.
And it is true. So it's important to do self-care, because that's where it goes. That's what you were talking about with Dr. Sophia Yin. And so we talk about, so self-care is anything that will light you up and recharge you. So that could be everything. I like going walking with the dogs. I like being outside and going walking with the dogs. That lights me up. Spending time with friends, going out for food. That definitely lights me up. Going out for food.
I mean, there are resources available for dog industry professionals and for owners as well, and where you can get like extra support if you feel that you need it. And certainly in the light of Dr. Sophia Yin passing, they started that movement called Not One More Vet. And actually, vets are 3 times more likely than the general population to commit suicide. It's really
sad. That's really sad.
It's
and
really
I think when you're in a profession, any form of caring profession, that is going to be more prevalent. I feel like we've segued down a sad road. We went from excited to new dog to like that.
Basically the story is, if you help me pick a dog and it's not a good one, you're going to end up crying.
I will end up crying, because it will be like,
your problem.
Exactly.
Your 3 a.m. problem, and I'm texting you, this dog is whining.
I know, I'll be like, oh no.
This dog won't stop whining.
But I think it is important to highlight these things. I think what we would like to take away that's listening to our little convo, because we're just chatting out what's happening and everything, but taking away the convo would be, if you are thinking of adding to your family, do your research and do it in lots of different ways. Don't just believe a couple of sites you've read on Google.
Yeah, or somebody you saw in the park.
Don't believe somebody you saw in the park. Because, like, I'm not being funny. If you met me with my sprocker, he's a unicorn sprocker. He's such a good boy.
Yeah, no, sprockers are mad.
They're mental. Absolutely mental. Like, I was blessed with such a good one that actually that's tarnished me ever getting a spaniel again, because I'll never live up to him, because I would do that weird comparey thing. So if you met him, you'd think they're all like that. Think they're all lovely. And they are lovely, but I do like them, but they will put you through the ringer as they're sort of growing up and stuff like that. So do your research. Be realistic about what your lifestyle will offer a dog and what you want from a dog. Like, don't just go with the, but this will be fine.
Don't get a dog for hiking if you're not already hiking.
Exactly.
Like, because you're never going to hike. You know what I mean? If you're not hiking already, you're never going to hike.
That would be like me saying, I'm going to get a dog to help me start running.
Yeah, no.
That dog ain't ever running. No. It's not going to happen.
Unless there's some kind of zombie apocalypse. But even then, I feel like you'd be like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But also as well, if you do these active things, because it works both ways. So if you are already a runner, please don't get a breed that actually that isn't on their list of, that's amazing to do. So like, don't get, like, when I had my Basset, that would have been the last thing on his list, even though his breed was bred to traipse along through woods and follow deer all day long. He just didn't want to do that fast. So so think about it, that way. But then also reach out and ask for help, ask for support, get a professional in to help you, so that you have an easy time with your dog and you have an enjoyable time, so that when you look back on things, you think that was a brilliant decision that I made. But equally, if you're listening, you're thinking, oh no, I'm already stressed out and, I'm trying to do this, try to do that. Just be kind to the professional that's helping you, because they probably are as stressed as you are, because they're not just dealing with you.
Yeah.
They will be dealing with other people who are all in the same boat and stuff. So it's very difficult, but that's where we segued with that. Yeah.
We'll keep you posted though on my dog search.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be that'll be the good stuff. This will be where I'll be sending you stuff. I saw this one, that one, the next one. Yeah. But I'll make sure that I ask if they're a wiener or not and stuff.
Definitely.
So cool. All right, I can't wait for the next installment. Right. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.